Welcome to Translate This.
Translate This.
Translate This, a podcast about language. What else?
Culture
Yeah. Life.
and the hilarity of it all.
Yeah. And Translate This, sponsored by Barbier International. And you can find us social media at translate.this.podcast on Facebook and Twitter at translate_this_p and Instagram at translate_podcast. Or should I say the gram?
Oh, yes. I like that.
You know, before we start today, I just want you to know that I'm really enjoying the word clout.
Clout.
For many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great word to say. Say it out loud. It's very, very clout.
I have a lot of clout in that field.
Yeah, it's a diphthong.
Oh.
Do you know what a diphthong is?
Please remind me.
Okay, a diphthong is when you have two vowels together in a word and you pronounce them both. So clout. See how you get that? Like clout.
Mm-hmm. That's like cloud. But
yeah, cloud.
Uh-huh.
But it's a diphthong. Okay. And so you have to say it that way, sing it that way. But I also like that it ends in a hard consonant sound. Clout.
Mm-hmm.
Clout. And then people say clouty.
You always try to get me in trouble somehow. Some word that has some innuendo, some connotation.
Well,
I'm not going to fall in that trap this time.
The gram is about clout. Social media is about clout. You did the Gen Z podcast. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What was that episode? 3
or
4?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Episode 2. It was episode 2. We are, by the way, this is episode 6 of Translate This with Richard and Melissa.
That's right.
Over here in Madrid, Spain.
It
is a beautiful autumn day.
Yeah.
The changing of the leaves are happening here in Madrid, which for those of you who have ever experienced a New England fall, nothing can compare with that.
No.
But it is really beautiful.
This could get second place.
Yeah. Well, I think this could get a much higher ranking than beautiful Southern California, Los Angeles.
Yeah. And everybody's so nice here in Madrid.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like everybody's nice.
Yeah.
It's my third month now here. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. Yep. I'm month 4.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
All right.
I know. So lay it on me, dude. What are we doing today?
Well, first I want to say I had a realization when I was researching. What kind of research guy am I? And I realized a pattern now is my third topic.
Yeah.
And I go into a wormhole, whatever I'm researching, and then I come out wanting to research something related but different.
Yeah.
And I realize my passion level goes way up. And sometimes I feel guilty because that's not what I originally was going to study.
Yeah, but you know what? You are such an authentic person.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I realize now that I haven't told our listeners what clout means, which relates to you in this because you're not about the clout.
Am I clouty?
No, you're not. You are about the authentic, organic listener base. You are about researching, like you just said, about things you're passionate about that absolutely you've gone off on a tangent, but it's about what you are passionate about. You don't care whether or not it's going to get you earn you clout.
Thank you. I appreciate that support and I'm sure you're the same. You obviously have passion in what we all want that. And we're validating that, right?
Oh, I'm hoping so. So we're not about the clout.
No. But I get how like maybe another podcast I can't imagine like if you were doing a crime podcast.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't a crime? Then you can't do it. But what if you're passionate?
Yeah.
What I like about ours is like it's culture, languages. It's all related in some way.
Really? Yeah.
And so me finding. That's very bad English. Sorry. Slap my wrist. No, just kidding.
No, unless you put the with in front of it, and then you're perfectly fine.
With finding.
No, with me finding. Okay, let me just say.
Me with finding.
No, okay. So before you go into this, pet peeve number 556 is you and me and how people don't say it the right way. So, sorry.
You and me gotta fix that.
Yeah, but with me finding something, you don't say with I finding something. So you were saying it right. You just throw the with, put the conjunction in there.
Throw the with in. I forgot what I was gonna say.
You're saying with you finding what you want to research versus what you set out to research.
Yeah, it makes our podcast so much more authentic, like you said, and it makes me learn more about myself, and that's great. There's some self-realization happening right here, right?
Nice, yeah. Completely.
Now I know people are just dying for my topic.
Yes.
I know they're just like their hands are just wringing, they're sweaty, right next to their speaker
or they're
on
turning
their
us
laptop.
off. One of the two.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
I have a confession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, it gets juicier.
Yeah. And this is not the topic either. Sorry, everybody.
And we digress one more time.
So I've been teaching, languages, whether it's Spanish or English for more than, close to 2 decades. And I have a confession.
What?
I suck at learning languages.
Now that's interesting that you say that because you are a language trainer.
Yes. And here is the connection to that. What you just said is that it's me sucking at languages with me sucking languages. me with sucking. Sucking me. No, not sucking me. How do I say that? I suck at this.
I can't even breathe right now.
Can I just say it my way? Damn it.
Just say it your way.
Me sucking at languages.
That is so bad too. No, it's with me sucking, learning a language. That is how you want to say that, which is still awful. You just say, with my inability to learn a language properly. That is really what you want to say. But
yes,
everything
that's
you
so
just said
much what I want to say.
Gave me the belly roll laugh that I needed for the week.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Good.
That was great.
Well, it made me a better trainer and teacher.
Yeah.
Because I understand the struggle.
You have empathy.
Empathy. A lot of empathy.
You have empathy. Not just sympathy.
Empathy.
But empathy.
Yeah. And I appreciate my struggles so much now. And I understand a lot of people out there learning languages and they're having a hard time.
Yeah.
Or they wish they learned another language or they wish they could learn a third.
Right.
I have trouble learning a third.
Not everyone's a polyglot.
Yeah. I just don't.
Yeah.
But it really made me more empathetic towards people who want to learn and my students, my former students. And that's where I get all my confidence from is being able to create lessons, units that are really effective for all learners, not just some.
Completely.
And that really loosely goes to my actual topic, but very
nice.
loosely.
But that's okay though. I liked that we understand your journey as a language trainer because that's the thing too. Learning language can be incredibly intimidating, but I love the fact that you are vulnerable like this and just say, because I really sucked at it. It made me who I am as a trainer because I was inspired to learn how to teach better. Yeah, no, I'm doing it. Teach
Careful with that me.
Yes, teach a better way to teach people to learn in a different way that they'll have more confidence in learning. And believe you me, I've seen Richard teach. He's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. So what is all this about? Where is this leading us to? It is leading to TV and film.
Ooh.
That is a great source of learning another language.
Yes.
And I know most people know about that. And I want to be very specific. And it depends on where you're at learning. But when you watch a film and it could be your favorite films, and you've seen them 3 times in your own language, try it in a second language that you want to learn. And put the subtitles.
Very good advice.
And that's a great, easy way to learn at home, and it's fun, and it's your favorite film, so you're not bored.
Right.
However, those of you who are more advanced and you're ready to watch films from another country. Then you learn more about their culture. You learn more about their dialects and their slang and things like that. And that leads to a Spanish TV show. Yeah.
Oh.
That I'm not going to recommend.
Oh,
No.
no.
Instead of recommending it, I would love for you and I
Uh-huh.
to analyze it. Now, I know
Okay.
I
Have I
don't think
seen
you've
it?
seen it. Maybe you have. It's called Sky Rojo.
No, I haven't seen it, but I saw it advertised. I have yet to watch it.
Okay.
It actually, it seems to be incredibly popular here.
Yes. I don't know where it is on the rankings of Spanish TV shows, but I know it's pretty high. And guess who produced and directed it?
I only know
Someone of
like,
another really famous Spanish TV show or series. I have to say series.
is it the Valeria people?
Nope.
The Money Heist people?
Yes.
Ah, ha, 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 ha.
Alex Pina and Esther Martinez Lobato.
Cool.
They are male, female, and that their gender is going to come up soon. So I brought that up.
Okay.
Team, two people who made Casa de Papel, those of you who
Yes.
watch in Spanish, and Money Heist.
English
Very, I mean, it was more of a viral thing that happened,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It died the first season in Spain. Nothing really happened. And then then Netflix bought it and then spread it out all over Latin America.
Yeah.
And it just went viral and then back to Spain, and Spain loved it too.
Yeah.
But so they made a new series called
Sky Rojo.
Sky Rojo. Now, this is not a recommendation; it's an analysis.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, and I would like some of your help.
Okay.
You being a woman.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah. Last time I checked.
Last time you checked, and
Yeah.
we don't need to check twice.
No.
Okay.
I still checked physically and gender wise. I identify as female.
So the topic is, and I'm just gonna throw it out there on the order of how I talk about things.
Okay.
The topic is, the theme is mixing entertainment and social justice advocacy together. Yeah. It's a kind of a new thing in my perspective. Social justice is a big issue, in the past 5 or 10 years. As of course, has been forever, always a big issue. But as far as mainstream, where now Hollywood is taking interest.
Is this a Me Too show?
I don't know if it is actually like labeled a Me Too show, but I'm going to get into it now.
Okay.
So
I have no idea what it's about. I just know the title. That's all I know. Because the reason why I'm really interested in this topic, Richard, because I've just recently started watching The Morning Show.
Oh, yeah.
And that is definitely a social justice platform that Hollywood is now with the Me Too movement.
Yes.
And it's so far, I'm only watching season 1. I know season 2 just came out, but I'm watching season 1 and it's brilliant. And I am going to recommend it.
Yes.
Because I think it shows a lot of the hypocrisy and the double-sided everything. I don't know. I really like it.
I saw season 1. I enjoyed it. I saw the whole season. I just started season 2.
Okay.
So, and there's amazing actors.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Amazing actors in season
just
1 and 2.
Crazy cast.
Yeah.
Like amazing. This is when I first saw Sky Rojo, I loved it.
Okay.
But then the more I analyzed it, the more I questioned it. And I still don't recommend it or recommend it. I'm not going out there saying watch it.
Wow.
What I probably am saying to people is like, this is what it is. You may like it, you may not like it. You may love it and you may hate it. Okay. And I have found some reviews.
Yeah.
I specifically picked women reviewers, female reviewers, because I wanted to read their side of point of view.
Yeah.
And I found 3, and 2 loved it and 1 didn't.
Okay.
But we're going to go in a little bit why about that.
And I want our listeners to know that I would say that you call yourself a feminist.
Oh, thank you for bringing it up. And people are wondering why, in particular, am I focused on this topic? I have 2 daughters that are now very young adults, and they both are just, in the past year and a half entering the adult world. And during their adolescent years and their childhood years, I was very conscious about how to raise them in a very modern way, in which their power, their advocacy is important, and that knowing what I had gone through in my years growing up in a patriarchal society, and realizing my patriarchy that I had grown up with and like didn't know, and then suddenly I realized I did. I wanted to raise them as best as I could,
Yeah.
so I'm very conscious about that. And in fact, I felt a little uncomfortable sharing a TV show from Spain that could be seen as still upholding patriarchy. This is why it's a
Oh, I
controversial.
gotcha.
It's controversial,
Yeah.
even though it proposes to promote social justice, in
Okay.
terms of women,
Okay.
right? Um,
Now I've got to see the show now.
yeah. But before I do that, last weekend, I went to see a theater production of a show called Seven, and it's not the Brad Pitt. No,
Okay.
sorry, it's not that one.
That's a great movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Aren't you
Morgan
just?
Freeman.
Yeah,
It's really
those
sad
great
though.
team
It's a
actors
Oh
right
yeah,
there,
no, they were
right?
they were phenomenal together. I wish they
Yeah.
had made more movies together. Uh but
Oh
it's
my gosh.
it's so sad because
Yeah.
he just well, I'm for those of you who have not seen it, I don't want to ruin it, but just the whole thing with the box. I mean, just
Oh,
uh
let's talk
I'm
about the
not going to say
box.
what
That's
about, but it's just going to tell you it's a gut-wrenching scene and you just feel everything that Brad is
yeah,
feeling on screen,
yeah.
and amazing performance by him in that.
Okay. Don't take away the thunder from the seven I saw though. This one, I have to tell you a little bit about it.
Okay.
It's about seven women journalists, um,
Ah.
who, not recent, but in the past, I don't know, 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
who had interviewed very courageous women in many countries, many who considered who would be considered third world countries,
Wow.
who had overcome a lot of adversity to
Mhm.
promote women's rights. And they did these interviews, and a woman named Carol Mack compiled all these interviews into a woven theater, is like a reading, basically seven women representing those countries reading their struggles.
Well,
And
that beats the heck out of the vagina monologues.
yeah, well, I wanted to I wanted part of this podcast to not just talk about this big Hollywood style Spanish TV show, but I want to analyze it, but also wanted to promote something that is social justice
Right.
art in a
Right.
pure form.
Okay.
And it's called Seven by Carol Mack. And it's a theater production, so you can't watch it on YouTube or anything, but you guys can find out about it.
It's
Um,
touring.
it is touring. I mean, I saw it here in Madrid this weekend.
So, but it's
Um,
it's globally
it's
touring.
globally touring, yeah.
Okay.
So that said, I want to go back to Sky Rojo, and it's about three women. Finally, we're talking about what is this Sky Rojo? Is
Skyrocket.
everybody still there?
Yeah.
They all went to go on a coffee break. It's Richard's turn. Let's go get coffee.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. It's about three women.
Okay.
They're the main characters. Coral, played by Veronica Sanchez. Wendy, played by Lali Esposito. Gina, played by Yanni Prado. And Veronica is from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And Lali is Argentinian.
Mm-hmm.
Yanni is Cuban.
Oh wow.
And they're all playing not prostitutes,
Sex workers.
sex workers, strippers, but
Exotic dancers.
basically they have to have sex with their clients in the strip club.
Oh, so they're sex working exotic dancers. No, it doesn't make
Yes.
sense.
If
Now,
you
how do we
just
say that?
say
They're exotic dancers who are also sex workers. Can we
it's,
say that?
now I think about it, they're in the gray area,
Yeah.
because like
Okay.
prostitutes are in some countries are illegal,
But
right?
but that's the thing is
Mhm.
that so for all you Gen Xers out there, we grew up with the word strippers and prostitutes, and
Mhm.
I even have had to self
Mhm.
filter because now we know it's sex workers and exotic dancers, and that is,
two
that's
two different jobs, right?
yeah,
But
2 different jobs,
yeah,
but that is the terminology
yeah,
that is politically correct, and
which
we're going to
I
be
agree
politically
with.
correct. And I agree
I
with
agree
it
with it.
too, because I also think that we're not going to get into it this one,
Mm-hmm.
but you and I have very strong feelings
Mm-hmm.
about protecting sex worker rights
Mm-hmm.
and exotic dancer rights.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of our daughters ended up doing that for a living, but that was what she was passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
we would be probably supportive as much as we could.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm going to be completely blunt
Mm-hmm.
and honest.
People.
I'm not going to say I would prefer my daughter to be a sex worker, but if that is what she chose to do for a profession, and if that is what she felt what was best for her,
Mm-hmm.
who am I to say that's wrong? As long as she's being safe, and
Yes.
all the people out there, they can throw daggers at my head right now. But
There's no one throwing daggers.
there might be. But here's the thing. I also have a friend. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend because we've lost touch, but she was an exotic dancer.
Okay.
And I know for a fact, regardless if it is intentional or unintentional,
Mm-hmm.
I know that the majority of her clients,
Mm-hmm.
when they had lap dances, would
Yeah.
finish on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, not in a way that
That.
anybody else could see,
Yeah.
but through their clothing.
Yeah.
And she said, just very bluntly,
Yeah.
told me that
Mm-hmm.
that's common, that's
Yeah.
par for the course.
Right.
So if
That's
women,
sex, right?
it,
That passes the line of
it
exotic
does,
dancers.
because one person is actually climaxing. So
Mm-hmm.
they're physically
Mm-hmm.
climaxing
Mm-hmm.
in this setting.
Yeah.
And they're, are in a public
Yeah.
situation, and the other person is not, but it is a form of sexual pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Exotic dancers provoke sexual pleasure,
Yeah.
right? That's what the whole purpose
The whole
is.
point.
And it's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Regardless if it's whatever gender
Mm-hmm.
is receiving
Mm-hmm.
the lap dance,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
because the whole point is to give sexual pleasure to the receiver
Mm-hmm.
of the dance.
Right.
And when the majority of her clients,
Mm-hmm.
99.9, were male.
Yeah.
And they would most of the time
Mm-hmm.
finish
Mm-hmm.
while she was giving them a lap dance.
Mm-hmm.
So if a sex worker
Yeah.
is able to then say, in this situation, look, I'm going to monetize this because
Mm-hmm.
it's happening anyway. Why shouldn't I gain more money
Mm-hmm.
for that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's par for the course. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's going to happen anyway.
Right.
I think great. And we actually had another friend of ours that that's one of my husband's other friends up in the Northwest, and he
What's
was a
his
union.
name?
No,
Just
I'm not
kidding.
going to say it. He's a union.
What's his last name?
No, he and his girlfriend. She used to say, because he was a union representative for a while, that he should go and be the exotic dancers union rep. He should form a union up in Portland, because for people who don't know, Portland, Oregon has more exotic dance locations per capita than anywhere else in the United States. And it's not that big of a town. I mean, we're talking in the metropolitan area, 2 million people, maybe 2.5 now. So that's a lot of exotic dancers and a lot of exotic places.
Did you know? I don't think I told you this. Did you know that I moved when I lived in Virginia? I moved from the city of the most churches per capita to the city with the most
exotic dancers.
Exotic
Oh
dancer.
my gosh.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
One straight to the other.
One from the other. From heaven to hell.
Yeah.
Depending on which way you look at it, it could be from hell to heaven.
Depending on how you want to look at it.
So anyway, I think that's the difference. And I think Australia has a culture with sex workers that has a whole different situation, where they have rights and there are laws and whatnot. I know here in Spain, I found out that it's neither legal nor illegal.
Yeah.
But they still frame it in prostitution. So they film it,
Yeah.
they frame it in that. They don't frame it necessarily. So to your topic,
yeah,
I'm not surprised that you're feeling that perhaps it's promoting the same old, same old.
Well, this is why I like this, because it's complex. First of all,
Right.
complex, and my podcast or my topic is not going to lead us to a solution. It's going to, I hope it leads us to a desire to find more facts,
right?
More information on. Now, I want to bring that up, but we haven't totally brought up the whole justice part, the whole social justice part of this show,
Mm.
because that's what the complexity is. It's sex and violence plus social justice advocacy.
Okay.
Okay. And so you're thinking, well, there are three sex workers, and so what's going on here?
Right.
Why is this different from all the other, crap, all the other male chauvinist stuff that's coming out? Is that the two creators, one male, one female,
Yeah.
created, woven the narrative that two of those women were kind of kidnapped from their country. So that's why one's from Argentina,
Oh.
the other one's from Cuba. They were in some ways led to believe, and this happens all over the world. They were
Yeah.
led to believe that there's greener pastures and their dream come true in Spain,
Yeah.
and they find out that it's not that way.
You know that that's been in the news here lately.
So I haven't seen anything specific. Anything? No. Where?
Yeah.
What's it happening?
So they were talking about the fact that there's a lot of women that are being brought here from
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
Africa.
Yeah.
Specifically, they said Venezuela, Colombia.
Yeah.
Then they also said Africa, but I don't know which countries of Africa.
Mm-hmm. It
I
makes
think Ghana was mentioned.
it makes sense, the desperation that's
Yeah.
happening in some of these countries, especially Venezuela. It's easy.
It's
It's
sex
easy to do
trafficking.
it. It's easy to bring them.
Yeah.
And
But that's different than what you're talking about. So you're talking about sex workers and exotic dancers. Do they get into, is it sex trafficking where it goes to? Because that's a whole,
these women are forced
yeah,
to
that's
do it,
sex trafficking.
right? They made the plot and the characters more developed because
Okay.
one of them did it by choice. So the main character, Coral, went in. She's Spanish from Spain, and
Okay.
she kind of escaped. We don't know this backstory. It might be season 3,
Okay.
but she escaped some type of family trauma or abuse,
All right.
and decided to hide and become a sex worker.
Okay.
And I'm going to say sex worker because they are both exotic dancers and they have sex with their clients.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll just say sex workers.
Yeah.
Um, and the other two are quote unquote kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what, I would say kidnapped,
Mm-hmm.
but they were led to believe one thing, but they're really kidnapped because if they try to leave, um, Romero, who's the club owner and basically the antagonist in,
Mm-hmm.
in all this, the big bad guy, he's saying, well, if you leave, I know how to get to your family members and you might not see them again.
So that's definitely what we would used to have called a pimp. So
Mhm.
I think now they have a different word too. It might be manager of a sex worker. I mean, I'm guessing here. I don't know if there's a new word for that because, uh,
No, to me, it's slavery. It's
Oh,
slavery, right?
completely.
Sex
He's
slaves.
an enslaver.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
that's a
if
good
you want to
word.
argue that about the traditional pimp, there might be some connection to that. Like a lot of young women are scared into thinking they're going to die if they leave their pimp. Now, is that sex slavery?
Mhm.
That's a topic.
Right.
Now, I want to again say my purpose of this topic is to go into the idea that's happening, not just in this TV show, but in other shows. And I have one
Mhm.
other as an example of mixing social justice advocacy with violence and
Okay.
sex. In this case, a
Okay.
lot of sex and a lot of violence.
Okay.
And is it making our consciences more um, empathetic? Are we becoming more empathetic to the cause of these victims, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Or is it glorifying and glamorizing, just like all the other films, and no one really cares about the social justice piece, right? That's the question. Um, Now, here, basically, the social justice part of Sky Rojo is, um, you've seen Thelma and Louise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those of you who haven't seen Thelma and Louise, it's an iconic film. I believe it was 1992,
Let
maybe
me look that
three.
up.
Um, and it was an iconic film, in my opinion, that highlighted the plight of the women in the United States.
It's a
About
Ridley Scott film too.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
1991. You were close.
Okay. And two women had killed a man defending themselves from a rape, and had ran away, and the police chased them. And I won't say the end.
Yeah.
This film has been compared to that. Or, I'm sorry, Sky Rojo has been compared to Thelma and Louise.
Really?
In a loose way, because I don't want to bring too much. I want you to enjoy the show. But here, let me tell you one of the reviews. Again,
Okay.
all three of these were women.
Okay.
First one is Ellen Jones of The Guardian. I love The Guardian.
Oh, I love
My
The Guardian.
favorite.
Love The Guardian.
4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5 stars.
Guardian, you can sponsor us anytime. We love you.
Yeah. She referenced Sky Rojo as referencing Tarantino film, Pulp Fiction style, with Sex and the City narration.
That's some big words.
Yeah, right?
That makes me want to watch it.
Yeah. She even called it binge worthy.
Oh,
right?
Cool.
She has a quote. She said, "This isn't here's what makes it interesting, because they were clearly trying to put the Me Too or the social justice piece in there to say, hey, we're moral. We're trying to in a way they're saying we're trying to entice you with all this sex and violence so that you could see the plight of these women, right?" She goes, "This isn't," quote, "this isn't intriguing moral complexity. It's irritating moral confusion, and it threatens to detract from the otherwise uncomplicated pleasure." The uncomplicated pleasure. So she's saying that this moral stuff is not working for me. I just want the blood and the violence and the sex.
Oh.
Yeah. Interesting. Right. Second quote from Time magazine. Judy Berman. She recommended it. Both of these two women recommended it. It's great. She says it's great Pulp Fiction style. Referencing, who did she reference? She referenced Thelma and Louise and Breaking Bad together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I love Breaking Bad.
I gotta see this because I love both those.
Yeah. She said she warned her readers not to see this as a social justice piece. Yeah, just watch it, enjoy it, blood and guts.
Devoid of morality.
Even though there was a very conscious effort to put morality in there. She quoted, "But this isn't any kind of social realist drama, and it doesn't make sense to judge it as such." So she's saying, don't judge this as a social justice piece. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Shut up and enjoy it.
Wow.
Maybe.
Shut up and enjoy it.
So I could actually found one, in my quote unquote investigative style.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, okay.
It's like, I just found one.
All right.
There could be more out there, but who knows? Internet is
oh my God,
infinite.
Yeah.
But I found one that balances out.
All right.
Abby Robinson of Digital Spy. Seems like a decent website. I don't know.
Yeah.
She didn't recommend it. She said it was, and I liked her description. It wasn't like I agree with it, but I liked her description. It was too gratuitous, too much gratuitous sex and violence at the expense of women's bodies to send a smaller social crisis message. Now, that's my words in a nutshell of her article.
What's interesting is that listening to that review reminds me very much of what a lot of people stated about the show Girls on HBO. Too much gratuitous sex and the exploitation of female body to drive the point home that they're empowered because those characters were anything but empowered. They were, they were difficult to get through. They were I think it was amazing to if you've not seen
I've seen
Girls,
about 2-3 seasons.
I loved the whole show.
I saw at least 2 seasons.
So I have to clarify the fact that I did love that series. And there were some amazing people that came out of that series that are now even bigger than the show thought would happen. But it was very problematic to watch the critical, how would I say this? It was hard to watch the women promote themselves as liberated, young, sexually active females when a lot of what was going on with them seemed to be repetitive of the same problems women have had ever since the notion of women's liberation, or even beforehand, that we can have sex without emotion like a man supposedly can have, which we all know now is a bunch of shit, that neither gender really can do that, that there's either a conscious choice not to engage emotionally and that you're just going for the pleasure of, you know, the pure sex of it, or that you just can't engage in the sex because you're emotionally, you know, in needing that, you need that emotional bond to enjoy the sex. So it was crisis. Watching every episode was a crisis for me, a crisis mode every time, but I couldn't stop watching because I was addicted to their crisis mode. So I'm wondering if I'm watching Sky Rojo, it would be kind of that way.
You're gonna your perspective is gonna be unique to me then, that because now I see some parallels, very, I don't know, loose parallels with Girls and Sky Rojo, in the fact that the message is like liberated women but gratuitous sex. I don't know if that's, do you see if you agree with that,
I'll
the
have to watch and
similarity?
see.
But it might be the link of Gen Z,
Okay.
of the overexposure of violence and sex and nudity,
Yeah.
pornography.
Right.
That's what's needed, you know. And Sky Rojo just came out, you know, this year, last year.
Yeah.
Girls is the next generation. Would they be Gen Z or
No, they were
millennial?
millennials.
Millennial, okay. But then you look at Sex and the City. You know, that's not a spinoff, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Similar genre. And how much sex was there compared to Girls?
Oh no, there was a lot of sex, but not as much physically seeing bodies.
Yeah.
There was not as much nudity in Sex in the City. And there was only one character that you really saw naked the most, not Cynthia Nixon. Oh gosh, the one that played her agent. And I can't think of her name right now, and I love her. But anyway, maybe producer Lauren can look it up for me. So she really was the one that was the most liberated, sexually active, and didn't apologize for how much sex she wanted with whomever she, and she had her own issues with that.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I forgot her name.
I'm hoping Lauren will look it up for us here. But yeah, I mean, but in relation to Girls, all of them, you saw all of their bodies.
Yeah, I remember.
And Valeria, okay,
another
which
similar.
is basically Sex of the City from Spain. You see all of them very naked, and that's a lot of gratuitous sex. So, but I still find that to be a really great show. So sadly, I guess in my pride, I don't know if I should apologize for it. Samantha Jones. Thank you. That was her character, was Samantha Jones. Yes. But what is her actress name? What is the actress's name? Producer Lauren. She can give that to me. Sonia. Oh, we're going to find out.
We'll find out. So that's another narrative in my topic is it the younger generation desiring more nudity, more sex, more porn to be engaged, right? And that's part of the theme, because Sky Rojo to me is going in that direction of like, you want to send a message, put sex on it, put pornography on it, put violence on it, and then the majority of the people will pay attention,
Okay.
And that's I'm not stating that. I'm suggesting that as a topic to discuss.
But right? I want to suggest, okay, first of all, we got producer Laura gave us the name. Samantha Jones, played by Kim Cattrall, who's an amazing actress. Yeah. I love her. But when I think of Tarantino films, like you were talking about, or Breaking Bad, there was hardly any sex there. And Tarantino films are about glory and guts, right? Or guts, or just violence, blood, all of it.
Yeah.
And he magically has made many films where there is love interest. And I always think about the very, and it was one of her first crossover films by Salma Hayek. I can't say her name. Salma Hayek. when she did the exotic dance
Yeah.
in From Dusk Till Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a very sexually alluring dance, but
Yeah.
she was clothed.
Yeah.
She had a bikini on,
Yeah.
and she had a snake on her.
Yeah. I mean, when I think Tarantino in women's roles, I generally think strong women or
Yeah.
women that are desiring power, you
But the
know?
reason why I mention that is
Mm-hmm.
because Tarantino, his style of
Mm-hmm.
filmmaking is heavily based on the fact that he used to work as an usher at a porn theater.
Was it a porn? I
It
thought he worked at a video store.
No, he worked also at a porn
Uh-huh.
theater.
We kept that quiet back in
No,
what I
no,
heard.
it's known. It's that
Really?
he knows porn. Like
Uh-huh.
he likes making films with that genre.
Yeah.
If I am mistaken, I apologize everyone out here listening, but the way I remember the story was that
Mm-hmm.
he did work at a porn. I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up.
So I also want to bring up another one since
Okay.
we're in, and this is less about women's roles and women's movement. This is in social justice. Um, there's a TV show that came out,
Yeah.
Them, and it's not Us. Us was Jordan Peele. Them is a spinoff, not a spinoff. Sorry, it was a different director.
Yeah.
Some people compare it to it and say it is a ripoff, but
Okay.
I think it's on its own a really good. It's about an African American family that moves to Compton in the '60s, and
Ooh.
and there was a lot of prejudice, racism. They
Yeah.
wanted them out, and but the government didn't want them out. They wanted that family to stay there.
Okay.
Interestingly, I
Okay.
won't say too much because it's part of the revelation, but there's a lot of social justice, a lot of history, a lot of history about race in Los Angeles
Right.
that I grew up in Los Angeles and I didn't know about. So I
Yeah.
learned, but it was a horror. It was a horror
Horror film.
series. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's a horror genre.
Okay. But was there gratuitous sex?
No, but it
Okay.
was a lot of violence. But
Okay.
I think the connecting theme I'm trying to say is like the mixing of entertainment
Uh-huh.
and social justice is happening,
Okay.
and it's happening more. I want to
But
quote a book. Yeah.
let me ask you a question here. I got to jump in here. Okay, first of all, one thing I did find out, yes, he did work as an usher as an adult film,
Okay.
Tarantino, after he dropped out of high school. But he also did work at a video store. So
Okay.
we were both right.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to you is,
Yeah.
Sky Rojo,
Yeah.
would you have objected to it having social justice themes if there wasn't as much gratuitous sex? I mean, I guess it wouldn't work so much because it was about sex workers. I mean, they could have not shown the sex scenes. They could have just described the narrative of the people.
That's exactly what Abby Robinson of Digital Spy had said, that she quotes female trauma used as a stunt to entertain and titillate.
Ooh.
And so that's what it really is. Like, I think if there's a controversy, it's not about that there's sex and violence. It's about how much and how much attention are you putting on their bodies,
okay,
to tell a point, to say a point.
Okay.
And the proven method of probably Hollywood and all is sex sells, violence sells.
Yeah.
The more you put on there, the more they want to watch it.
Mhm.
But then if you're like, well, the more you put it on there, the more they're going to also learn about the message and the topic of sex slavery and women being kidnapped and brought.
Right.
And so,
or do you think it'll desensitize people?
that is why I brought it up.
Okay.
That's why I want to talk to you about it. And I know you haven't seen it, but like,
No.
it's not a matter of seeing it. It's just a matter of what you think about
Right.
the topic in general. Like, sex and violence. Will it make people be more conscious?
I personally, I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love a good war film. Like I watched Platoon,
Mhm.
And I've watched other social okay, even going back to something like Deliverance,
Mhm.
where that was a very, very conflicting social justice, but also cultural narrative, right?
Yes.
And stereotyping.
Mhm.
And then you watch, like you mentioned Breaking Bad, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of stereotyping there. Or you can watch what was the show? Weed? Was it Weed? That it was about the divorcee. Oh, Weeds with an S. Thank you. And about or she was a widow. That was it. She was
Mhm.
a widow and she had to make way, and she was selling marijuana to be able to bring money for the table, for her family.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of shows like that
Mm-hmm.
that talk about, okay, can we make this a justice piece? But I think right now, when you're talking about highlight, because Jeffrey Epstein keeps
Mm-hmm.
popping in my head,
Yeah.
and then the other Hollywood producer,
Gold finds
Harvey
Harvey
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Is it
Stein.
Steen?
Stein.
Weinstein.
Steen. Steen.
Weinstein. Thank you. And those two people, because watching the morning show
Mm-hmm.
recently, again, watching this,
Yeah.
and thinking of Matt Lauer, and
Mm-hmm.
thinking about
Matt
all of the
Lauer.
people, right?
Yeah.
And Woody Allen,
Mm-hmm.
one of
Oh
my
man.
used to be.
Uh,
I don't. It's so conflicting. One of my
and
favorite directors, and now, yeah,
Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Okay,
He got out.
and he got out. Which, yeah,
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
So my problem with this is
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to, for me,
Mm-hmm.
not because I'm female,
Yeah.
completely from the sense of, are they using this sensationalism because it's current and in the news to capitalize on it and make money and profit from it, but are they actually doing any good? So if Sky Rojo is
Mm-hmm.
taking all the profits that it made,
Mm-hmm.
because first of all, if people don't realize, nonprofits, okay, or
Mm-hmm.
a for-profit company,
Mm-hmm.
they have budgets.
Mm-hmm.
In those budgets include the salaries of the people, in movies, they
Mm-hmm.
include the salaries of the people, the directors, the actors, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the profits thereafter go back to the investors
Mm-hmm.
after all that's done, right?
Mm-hmm.
After the movie houses and all that, they have that. But are they taking all those profits and donating them to help women get out of sex slavery or get them out of dangerous situations? Are they taking that money and putting it toward that, or are they just using it to make
I think the
season
director
2 and
just
3
renovated
and
his
4?
house. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
Well,
I
that's
don't know.
my point. And that, I think I would feel more comfortable knowing that all profits above costs,
Mm-hmm.
all the proceeds were going towards some type of global organization.
Money talks, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Money talks.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Actions
right.
speak louder than words, people.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is a call out to people, because I actually tried to research, look for some survey, um, questionnaire or something, to where if there was a control group to watch a gratuitous sexual violent film with a message, and then ask them at the end, are you more aware or empathetic now of these people, these victims, or do you not, or were you just purely entertained and you don't care?
Right.
I tried to look for something like that, because if we find hard facts about statistics that this really works,
Mm-hmm.
then I could see more of this happening, and maybe it will have a good effect. But if it doesn't, to me, this is the biggest scam. This,
Right.
it, to me, is a scam
Right.
if it doesn't, because all it does, and I can think of so many examples of people who jump on the health bandwagon or the social justice bandwagon and
Mm-hmm.
say, look, I'm not one of those bad people,
Right.
and they're just profiting all the way.
Yeah.
And they tag on a message, and then they say that we're not one of those bad people, but they're making even more money now,
Completely.
right? And
Completely.
so this is more, to me, more disgusting if the statistics show
Right.
that it doesn't make any difference in society. And I something that really bothers me, I'm a very healthy eater. I'm a very healthy eater. I look
Yes, you
for,
are.
the healthiest products,
Mm-hmm.
organic. Now in Spain, I don't worry as much. It's different rules, but I still look for healthy products, and I look at the labels. And what's happening now more and more is there are products that are coming out with the label,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't bring the real food. They don't bring the product
Mm-hmm.
to say what the label is. It's false advertising.
Yeah.
And that's the same feeling I get, is like, I'm paying extra for this so-called organic food, yet it's still bad. It's as bad as the other one. I'm more upset about that than someone who just says, here's this crap, buy it.
Right. Right.
And that's how I feel if this is true. You know, I initially loved Sky Rojo, and I recommended it to some people. Um, in my initial thought, I said this could work. You know, a lot of people who are so prone to sex and violence because that's all they grew up with,
Right.
and pornography.
Right.
That message could be powerful in a very, maybe in a very subtle but big way, because when you put out a big social justice film or
Mm-hmm.
art, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when I went to see Seven, and I looked at the audience, you know, there's about 60 people in the audience when I saw that theater production
Yeah.
Seven, and they were all fairly much, it looked like, older and wealthier, right? Some couples, some young couples, but mostly older.
Was it in Spanish or English?
It was in English,
Okay.
actually. And I thought, where are the young people?
Yeah.
Where are the, maybe the marginalized people, the ones who are affected negatively by society in general?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? Where are mainstream young people? You
Right.
know, they weren't there, and they didn't show the majority. Is it because there's no sex or violence? You know, is it because that 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 play didn't appeal to them?
So do you think it's like when we think of I'm thinking of Japanese anime?
Anime, that's another thing, I'm very basic. I have basic knowledge about anime. I did, you know, spend a lot of time in Tokyo. I'm been surrounded by it,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't become a huge fan. But I know about, which, talking about the sex and the violence,
Right.
and that in that society does not produce more violence. You know,
Okay.
statistically doesn't really show.
So my
Yeah,
point of that is
yeah,
that anime, video
yeah.
games, they always say, "Oh, it promotes more violence, more
Mhm.
sex." That
Right,
you see this.
right.
Um, do you think that any of that has again desensitized, but also caused a hole in the
Mhm.
viewers' minds that unless it's there, they
Mhm.
don't, like you said, they don't want to go see it? Do
Mhm.
you think that somebody could watch a film that has no gratuitous sex or violence in it and watch it and be like, okay, that was the best film I've ever seen in my life?
I think I think the tolerance level is lower, meaning I think most people can watch a film that has no sex or violence, but it has to be riveting. It has to be super engaging.
Okay.
Maybe if it's a subtle film about personalities, about human, you know,
Yeah.
the human spectrum of life, you know, that might be boring to them.
So
Whereas,
do you think Sky Rojo got all of these accolades because it had so much of the sex and violence that were people were like, yeah, I really I really want to, because I mean, listening to those three women
yeah,
reviewers,
yeah,
one was just like, "This is stupid. They should not have put this in." The other people were like, "I just want to watch the sex and violence. Don't
yeah,
give me the morality clause,
yeah.
or don't give me the lesson."
Hmm. Hmm.
So it seems to me that it's like a one way or the other with all three of the people reviewing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I think the ones who liked it loved the fact that it was so Pulp Fiction
Yeah,
style, Breaking Bad. I mean, all the references that I generally like
right.
makes me want to watch it, and I loved that side of it.
Yeah,
That's why I originally was like recommending it,
yeah.
um, um, and I still recommend it. But if I recommend it to someone,
Mm-hmm.
I feel obligated to bring up this topic, you
Yeah,
know, and say
yeah. It's a
this is
disclaimer.
or just say that, you know, there's a controversy and I want to know what you think about it. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Mm-hmm.
be more interested in what you thought about it after, not
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
go check it out, see you later. You know,
Yeah,
it's more like let's have a discussion about it
yeah.
because there's a lot of themes there that are
But
complex.
don't you think that makes it successful in its own right, where it even makes objective viewers want to discuss it after with other people?
Yeah, I agree, but I think larger society, mainstream society, who are desensitized,
Yeah.
I want to know if they watch it, are they more empathetic towards victims in this? particular case.
Well, I want to go back to something that was brought to my attention here while we were discussing this about an organization, a nonprofit in Canada
Mm-hmm.
called Stella,
Mm-hmm.
Living and Working in Safety and with Dignity. And they're out of Montreal or Montreal,
Mm-hmm.
however you'd like to say it. And their mission statements are to offer support and information to sex workers so that sex workers can work and live in safety with dignity. They want to help counter violence, the different factors that put sex workers at risk of contracting HIV and STIs and other threats to our community's general well being. They're trying to fight discrimination towards sex workers as well as the social isolation and stigmatization that is endured by many. They're working toward the decriminalization of all forms of sex work, and they're working for the supporting the participation of sex worker involvement in communities and to encourage the creation of platforms and forums used to discuss sex work on municipal, provincial, federal, international levels. And I think that they said I really like the Stella's team works toward these goals by promoting solidarity among sex workers and by creating spaces where sex workers can access power. So one thing we know in film,
Yeah.
and in life, but in film, the depiction of the powerful and the
Mm-hmm.
powerless,
Mm-hmm.
and how they capture that and portray that, it really is the biggest part of the moral compass of a show.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying, and the thing that a little bothered me a lot actually, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put it out there, the thing that bothered me was the fact that the female, regardless of her previous trauma as a child, that
Mm-hmm.
chose to be a sex worker was the one from Spain,
Mm-hmm.
and that the other two were enslaved
Yeah.
as sex workers,
Mm-hmm.
and they were not from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think if it were me directing it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's probably the reality that they're seeing. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are a lot of women
Mm-hmm.
around the world that choose to be sex workers
Mm-hmm.
for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to go out there and tell people this: not every single person who is a sex worker comes from an abusive
Mm-hmm.
family full of drugs and parentless, and
Mm-hmm.
or sexually abused by
Yeah.
others and whatnot. There are people who come from backgrounds that are just like you and me,
Yeah.
raised in normal families, quote unquote, with no trauma or
Mm-hmm.
abuse, and choose to be sex workers. So unfortunately, the depicted majority of
Yes.
sex workers are the ones that are on the street,
Mm-hmm.
full of
Or no
HIV, STIs,
control,
no
no
control. Right,
autonomy. Right.
right. And that is where I think society is at.
Yeah.
So, but absolutely 100% enslavement of any
Mm-hmm.
person,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, regardless of gender
Right.
or identity, that is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And being forced to do something,
Yeah.
whether it's labor of any kind, whether
Right.
it's sex labor or any kind of labor, because
Mm-hmm.
there are slaves, modern slavery
Right.
exists.
Yes.
And that is where I think I would draw the line when it comes to depicting this in television shows.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, I'm going to go back to my previous comment, unless this company and all TV shows that are talking about this
Mm-hmm.
narrative are
Mm-hmm.
doing something about it with the profits.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even have to be about sex working. It could be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, we're going to talk about Alzheimer's in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they take the profits of that film and throw it toward the Alzheimer's Research
Mm-hmm.
Foundation. I mean, I would like to see more social justice
Yeah.
happen that way
Yeah.
in films
Mm-hmm.
and TV, where they actually put their money where their mouth is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, that seems like that would make things a lot more equitable in my mind.
I agree. I agree. I would add to that it has to be authentic. It has to be an authentic I don't want to say donation, but funding to
Right.
that. I sometimes feel what's happening now, like people will add a charity or donation to some big event, like Elon Musk and
Ah.
his big spaceship. And they raised a lot of money. Spaceship, yeah, raised a lot of money for children's cancer research.
Yes.
And that sounds great. I just don't want it to be for him. That's probably a drop in the bucket, but
Right.
but I don't want it to be a permission for other people to do some really bad things and say, look, it's for a charity. I don't want that either.
Right. I mean, let's be honest.
Mhm.
There's a lot of problems out there
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
whole world.
Mhm.
In this particular topic,
Mhm.
even a famous porn star, Ron Jeremy,
Yeah,
arrested
yeah.
with how many countless amounts of
Yeah.
rape and molestation charges,
Mhm.
where Hollywood accepted him as mainstream. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's Ron Jeremy, a classic porn
Mhm.
actor.
Mhm.
And then it all comes out, just like they did with Bill Cosby, a classic actor, and then look where we're at there.
Uh-huh.
So I just think we're always going to have the issue,
Mhm.
because in our humanity, there's always going to be a penis and a vagina or some type of other sexual organ out there that
Mhm.
people are engaging with.
Mhm.
And there is always going to be this situation again of the powerful and the powerless.
Mhm.
And again, this goes beyond sexual preference,
Yeah.
sexual identity, sexual, physical
Mhm.
gender, mental, all of the different identities,
Yeah.
right? That goes
Yeah.
beyond all of that. This goes beyond who has the power, or this is what it's about. I mean, it's who
Right.
has the power and how they portray it. So if you were, let me ask you this question, because we talked about your daughters, and you talked about raising them.
Mhm.
So you watch Sky Rojo.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, we're both of the same age.
Mhm.
Well, almost. I'm a
Yeah.
little bit older,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean?
Same generation.
Same generation. And you're telling me, as your equal,
Mhm.
I'm not going to recommend this, but I'm not going to not recommend it.
Exactly.
But what would you tell your daughters?
I would Here's the thing. I raised them and I know they are critical thinkers.
Okay.
So I would recommend it to them because they could look at it from a very objective eye. And of course, being my daughters, I know I would be having conversations afterwards.
Okay.
And I would probably have the same conversation that I would have with you now.
So you're being very mindful about this
Yeah.
then.
Because I want them to see what's happening. I want them to
Good.
see what quote unquote Hollywood is doing with social justice.
Mm-hmm.
And does it work? Does it work for your generation?
Yeah.
And that's something I wanted to probably the last part I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
And I wanted a real quick shout out to a show that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered the first Native American TV show on FX called Reservation Dogs.
Oh, I
Have
want
you
to
heard
see
about it?
that. Yes.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
looks so good.
right.
Oh, yeah. I'm
And
going to watch that.
this leads to my last topic, unless you want to,
Okay.
of
But
course,
I just want to know,
Oh yeah, yeah.
reservation dogs, does it say which reservation? Which
Um,
nation of people?
I only know it's in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably
There's a lot
Cherokee.
of tribes there, but I don't know. I didn't check. Um, and I'm not recommending it because I haven't seen it, but
Okay.
I'm just telling everybody I want to see it.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
Um, but the last part of this I want to bring up, which is an interesting side topic,
Mm-hmm.
is something that is happening particularly in Hollywood. It's called sorry, literacy. No, it's called narrative strategy.
Narrative
Narrative
strategy.
strategy. Another term that's coined that's similar. That's the same thing. A different word for the same thing is cultural strategy.
Cultural strategy.
And
I haven't heard these.
there's a book out, and this is where I researched. There's a book out by Katie Borum Chatu, who wrote a book called Entertainment Dash Education as Social Justice Activism in the United States.
Nice.
And she had said that there's a movement happening, and what narrative strategy is there's a marriage happening of social justice advocacy groups
Mm-hmm.
and Hollywood executives and big media um, companies
Mm-hmm.
that are working together to create more integrative and inclusive narratives for TV shows and films.
Hmm.
And that's part of the reason why we see more multicultural films,
Okay.
more films that are more diverse,
Right.
basically.
Right.
And these groups, one of them in particular, she mentioned, was called Define Americans, and and so that's something I wanted to bring up too. Not so much as like, hey, look what's happening. It's more like, well, this is happening, right? But where are we taking it?
Right.
And is
Right.
Sky Rojo a product of that? Right?
Oh.
Are we taken to the extreme now where we can put as much sex and violence as we want.
Yeah.
But with the label of social justice, we feel good about it. And
that's a great theory.
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely gonna reflect on that when I'm watching the television show, or is it cable
I'm
TV?
sorry, it's Sky Rojo?
Yeah, is it Netflix?
It's Netflix,
It's
yeah.
Netflix. Okay.
Netflix.
Oh, and producer Lauren just handed me the information about Reservation Dogs on FX, and that the characters are not based on any specific indigenous tribe.
Okay.
So that's cool
Right.
because they're just saying indigenous teenagers is what it pops up. Okay,
All
cool. That's going to be on my next viewing. Both of these. But I will say that your theory is incredibly intriguing.
Great. I'm glad you.
I think it's great, and I think we should be made aware of it. I think one of the problems that television and film has and always will have is that it was initially created to make us forget and to be entertained, because it came out of the generations where let's not worry about the world wars going on. Let's go to the theater, or the depression. Let's go to the theater, escape, and be entertained.
That's
right.
That's what, the original purpose was, and
Yes.
the reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
So then as it evolved, it started gaining
as an art form.
Right? It started gaining all sorts of variety that came out.
And I feel like film and media has helped us evolve 100%. But there's no doubt about that, right?
But there's also I love the line that I just watched the other night. Martin Short in the morning show says that humanity happens in the unspoken moments. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's speaking this line as a Predator filmmaker.
I remember he was in there. I forgot he was in there, actually.
If you didn't know about that in context, you would think, what a great line. Because it stuck with me. It was such a great written line.
Yeah.
Humanity happens in the unspoken moments. Because previous to that moment, he stated that he felt sorry for this new generation of consent. And the guy's like, what are you talking about?
There's some of the irony in there.
The irony, right? And he's like, well, it's just not sexy. Consent's not sexy. Basically, I'm paraphrasing at this point, but it was basically based on that information. And so think about that. Like TV, I mean, think about all of the movies we've seen, all the art from all the film noir films that I love so much, the, Bogart and Bacall, where he's basically just taking her. There's no consent. And if there is, there's a lot of portrayal of, I'm going to pretend that I don't want you, but I'm still going to take, just think of it. Even if you think about the film Fatal Attraction, there's some crazy, crazy stuff going on, even with the other way around. What's the one with, Michael Douglas, another Michael Douglas film with Sharon Stone.
The big controversial one.
Yeah.
The scene.
Sharon Stone and Michael Douglas was. I'm looking it up. I cannot
just say 16 Candles.
No, 16 Candles is another.
16.
Okay, there's
Molly
another
Ringwald.
one. Yeah, let me tell you about that one. No, it's a Basic Instinct. Basic Instinct. He takes her literally. It's like almost like date rape on front of the camera.
Yeah.
But Lauren, producer Lauren, to the rescue here. 16 Candles, one of our generation's film.
Yeah.
And you watch that now, and he date rapes her when she's passed out.
I have to watch that again.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And she wakes up and says, he said, she says, I think it was something like, did we do it? And she says, I think so. But she's like, but you know what? I think I liked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guess who wrote that film? A man.
Who wrote 16 Candles, producer Lauren? Let's see.
Or just a woman?
No, I'm sure it was. I don't think it was. It was the guy that did all of them. He did Breakfast Club.
Oh, yeah. Oh, John Hughes.
Oh,
yeah.
John Hughes, the director, quote unquote, of our generation.
Yeah.
And
I loved the other one with the high school.
Breakfast
Club, yeah.
Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, I saw that.
And St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah. Breakfast Club is my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of those movies. Yeah, and the Heathers too. That's another film if you haven't watched it. There's so that's when things started to change. I think starting in the 90s, things started to change, and you started seeing shifts toward this is not okay. I think 100 years from now, many of the films that started off as the great classics will be completely canceled. They'll be like, nope. And I think it'll extend all through the 20th century. I think 21st century films are going to change the genre, or they'll go, like you said, down this rabbit hole of they're just going to have so much exploitation and violence, it's not going to matter. And they're just going to throw it all out there together. I would recommend all of our listeners to watch Euphoria, because that's a Gen Z, very, very.
Oh, I was just thinking in the 80s.
No, Euphoria is
with Zendaya.
Zendaya.
I almost said Zendaya.
Yeah, isn't it Zendaya? Zendaya. I would have said Zendaya.
Well, that's Spanish. Yeah,
it's Zendaya. Yeah, she is amazing in it. And
I loved there's these two scenes that I can't forget. She was so powerful. So powerful. Yeah.
Well, she's discovering her own sexuality. They discuss that. They discuss the fact that there's some non-binary things going on in that, and then there's transgender, and
okay.
And
Shapers in there.
Yeah. Thank you, producer Lauren. Thank you. And I think it's pretty amazing because it's for me, I didn't find any violence or sex portrayed in that series as gratuitous. I felt that it was
explorative and artistic or something
no,
like that?
not even explorative and artistic. I'd say explorative, but I don't think that explorative would be the word. I think the word is a portrayal of reality for a culture that the mainstream world still doesn't understand. And I also think that it was done in a very tasteful manner. And I think it was purposeful. It was purposeful, whereas the other things that you're describing doesn't seem purposeful. Just like Girls, going back to Girls again. It was, maybe Lena Dunham did that on purpose because she wanted shock value, and she's an amazing writer and director. Let me just say that. Shout out to Lena Dunham. I love you. I think you're amazing. I watched every episode of Girls. I loved every broken character you wrote in that show. But I see it that way, and I'm sorry if it wasn't supposed to be that way, Lena. You know, you might hate me now, but
who
Miss Dunham. Oh, okay. I don't know if I don't know her well enough to call her by her first name, so I say Miss Dunham.
She might be our first listener right now.
She may
might be sitting right now.
Let's hope so. That would just make my year. But let's put it this way: I think that she has a voice that's necessary, because if anything, what if her portrayal of Girls was just to be a slap in the face to Sex and the City and say, that's not really what's going on. This is what's going on.
I don't know, but I feel like that's like a reaction. Say, this is not our generation. I'm going to show you my generation, you know? But I don't know. It feels like they're really trying to set themselves apart as a generation.
Well, they did, though. Yeah. It was incredibly successful for that moment. And Adam Driver was a successful launch from there. He starred in that. And that was his first main break.
And Adam Driver, he's great. But
we love
the thing that I did like a lot about Girls was they weren't all rich. They weren't all like, I know one of the characters in Sex and the City wasn't rich, and she was, trying to find an apartment, couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
But like most of the characters in Girls were like in shitty apartments, like sharing a tiny room.
Yeah.
That to me is reality. Yeah. That's to me the bigger difference of films and TV of, now we're talking about mainstream, maybe quote unquote white characters that are struggling financially.
Well, I would have liked it though, Lena. I really would have really liked it, Lena, if you had a woman of color be one of the girls, and that would have made me even love you more.
You remember with
because Shoshana had a different religion, and that's about it.
But what happened to that one episode or two episodes with what's the black actor / singer in Atlanta? I forgot his name.
Oh gosh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now. Yeah,
no, he was in there.
Yeah, but I mean, still, we're talking sub
Childish Gambino.
Oh my God, Childish Gambino. Yeah, love
but
him.
he was in there.
He was in there, but it was just such a sub character.
No, but what I actually read an article.
Oh,
about
good.
That.
See, educate me.
Well, I hope this article was right, but she felt so much pressure for putting a person of color in there that she put Childish Gambino in, and he agreed to it, and he apparently wanted to be the exact opposite of the stereotypical black man, and so that's why he was like the super conservative guy. And
but that's okay. I mean, I have no issue with that, but I'm just talking, she needed to have more people of color in general, because New York City.
Yeah. Of course.
Right.
Of course. But it's like, that's a debate too, because like if you're, isn't she from Iowa? I don't know. She's like from a small town somewhere.
Well, her character was also from a small town.
Yeah. I know. I'm sure if she grew up in New York, there would be people of color in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
there wasn't.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
So, but the way they put in Childish Gambino was like a patch on somebody's pants.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And I don't think
it just didn't
was cool.
work. And I think she was like, and I think her argument is that she's so removed from people of color's experience.
Okay, but I'm
sorry, that she doesn't want to stereotype them in her show.
But she was born of a Jewish mother and a Protestant father, which makes her eligible to practice Jewish. I mean, anybody could be Jewish, but you know what I'm saying? But by the laws of Judaism, if your mother is Jewish, you are considered. I don't know if she was a practicing Jewish person. She says she felt culturally Jewish. And she said, and that's a big cliche for Jewish women to say. And I totally agree with that. But she did connect apparently to Judaism. And she was born, guess where?
Where?
New York City.
What? That makes even...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she went to Oberlin. She went to Oberlin, which I get it,
I don't know. But like, that's weird. If she was from Iowa or something, I would understand.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not a huge fan of the show. I saw 2 seasons, so I must have liked some of it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's analytical things. Like sometimes I watch things that I analyze the whole time I'm watching.
But you brought up girls, and it kind of woven into what I brought up. So it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So I'm going to challenge us to continue this path at another podcast moment. And maybe one of us will come up with some topic related to the fact about what we were talking about. 1, the gratuitousness of it all, but 2, also what we think about Gen Z going forward. Are they going to have more people of color? Are they going to have more diversity? Is it going to be less violent? Is it going to be more violent? You know, that might be something we want to talk about another time.
Sure. All righty.
All right. Well, this has been Translate This by Richard and Melissa.
I want actually someone to translate all of this.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure someone could, but that's a lot.
They're going to transcribe
Translate this.
They're going to transcribe this.
Transcribe this.
So this has been Translate This. And again, sponsored by Barbier International and our day jobs. And you can find us on social media at Facebook at translate.this.podcast. Twitter at translate_this_p, and Instagram at translate_this_podcast. And you can find us on our website at translate_this-podcast.com.
Don't forget the dot.
Gotta get that dot and the dash, not underscore, but dash. Yeah.
All right.
That's another thing. I'm going to find out why is it an underscore and then a dash. That just seems like 2 words so relatively removed from each other. Like
another word for underscore.
Yeah. Big dash.
Big Daddy Dash.
All right, viewers and listeners. Well, you can't see us, but maybe one day you could.
You could see us.
We can. We could do that one day, but I don't know. I don't think I want to do that.
I'm going to put a very, very invisible, dark photo of me, just so you could see who I am. I'm just this person behind the microphone.
You can see us on our website. All right, signing off.
Signing off
To translate this.